Hello everyone, today we are going to be dividing polynomials by a monomial. Okay, so here are the basic steps. So it says to divide a polynomial by a monomial, divide each term of the polynomial by the monomial. So here, if I had a plus b and I wanted to divide it by c, which is a monomial, it only has one term, I would divide each of these terms by c. So you see we have a over c, and we have b over c. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so right here, we want to divide 9b squared minus 15b by 3b. So first, I'm going to rewrite it as a fraction. So we've got 9b squared minus 15b over 3b, okay? So now each of these things are going to get divided by 3b. So let's just rewrite it as this, 9b squared over 3b minus 15b over 3b, okay? So this first one here, I'm going to divide the number by the number, so 9 divided by 3 is going to be 3, okay? B squared divided by b is going to be b. Remember, when we divide variables, we're going to subtract their exponents. So this really has an exponent of 1, and that has an exponent of 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. I have 1b remaining. And then the second one, 15 divided by 3 is going to be 5, okay? And these b's, since they're exactly the same, they're going to cancel each other out. So this is it right here. This would be our answer when we divide 9b squared minus 15b by 3b. Okay, so here's another example. So same thing. Let's rewrite this thing as a fraction. So I've got 6x squared plus 4x over 2x. So remember, each of these things are being divided by 2x. So this is what I have right now. Okay, so this first one, 6 divided by 2, that's going to be 3. X squared divided by x, there's 1x remaining. Okay, the next term, 4 divided by 2, that is going to be 2. And those x's are going to cancel each other out. So this would be my answer here, 3x plus 2 is what we get when we divide these polynomials. Here's another one. We've got more variables here, but really it's the exact same thing. Okay, so let's just write it out so we can visualize it a little bit better. So we've got 10x squared y squared plus 5xy over 5xy. Okay, so again, we're going to rewrite this as we're going to break it apart here. So I've got 10x squared y squared over 5xy plus 5xy over 5xy. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is divide 10 by 5, and that is 2. Okay, and then x squared divided by x, there's an x remaining. And then y squared divided by y, there is still a y remaining, okay? And we look at the second term, okay? Common mistake here is someone's gonna look at this and say, hey, those things cancel out, so there's nothing left here, okay, I'm done. But if there are two terms in our original numerator here, there has to be two terms in our answer, okay? So I have to have something here. Okay, and what's happening here is I'm dividing 5xy by itself, okay? So what happens whenever I divide something by itself is that's always going to be 1. So we're going to have a plus 1 right here, okay? There has to be two terms here if there were two terms here, okay? So whenever you have something like this where these things are exactly the same, you're going to end up with a 1 there. So that's it. That would be our answer. 2xy plus 1 is what we get when we divide those. Okay, here's another one. Again, write it as a fraction. So I've got 27x squared minus 21y squared. We're dividing this by 3. So I'm going to break it apart again. 27x squared over 3 minus 21y squared over 3. Okay, so this time I'm just dividing by a number, so my variable is not going to change. I'm just doing 27 divided by 3, and that is going to be 9x squared. Okay, and then the next one, when I do 21 divided by 3, that's going to be 7y squared. Make sure you keep that negative in between those, and that's it. We're done here, okay? So now let's take a look at a couple of word problems. So this one, it says 6 friends visited the zoo to see the new panda exhibit. The group paid for admission and an additional $12 for parking. So the total cost of the visit can be shown by the expression 6x squared, or 6x plus 12 right here. Okay, so that's the cost for everyone. So what was the cost of the visit for one person? So if we have 6 friends and we want to know how much we're paying for each of these friends to go to the zoo, we're going to divide that total cost, 6x plus 12, by 6. Okay, so let's break it apart. 6x over 6 plus 12 over 6, and that's going to simplify to this, x plus 2. So that would be the cost for each friend to go to the zoo. And basically, they're paying for their own admission. That's what x is. And then they're each paying $2 for the parking. So they're spreading that $12 out between the 6 friends. Okay, so that's what our cost would be. Here's another example, and this is where we're commonly going to see stuff like this. And it says the model below represents a garden. The total area of the garden shown can be represented by the expression 8x squared plus 12x. If the width of the garden is 4x, what is the length of the garden? Okay, so basically we're trying to find the dimensions of this thing, and we're told that this right here is 4x. Okay, so if the area of this piece of the garden right here is 8x squared, okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to divide 8 by 4, and that's going to give me 2. And then we're going to divide x squared by x, and there's still an x remaining. And then on the other box over here, we have a 12 here. We have to divide that 12 by 4, and we get 3. The x's are going to cancel out. So the length of this garden is 2x plus 3. Okay, I could have also worked it out like we did the previous examples, and that would look like this right here. We would do 8x squared plus 12x over 4x. I'd break it apart, 8x squared over 4x plus 12x over 4x, and then just divide. And we would end up with, again, 2x plus 3. Okay, so there's a couple different ways I could do that one. Okay, so please go check out the assignment on Canvas. Let me know if you have any questions, and just make sure you're confident with these problems. Have a great day.